This presentation will focus on renewable energy sources. These are alternatives to fossil fuel, such as solar power, wind power, even geothermal heat. These types of energy sources will likely play a much larger role in man's future. As you can see from these two pie graphs, renewable energy sources are growing quickly. The big three are wind power from wind turbines and wind farms, hydropower, also known as hydroelectric, and bioenergy. There are some distinct advantages of the new renewable sources. One of them is that greenhouse emissions are essentially negated. Certain renewables like biomass, such as the burning of wood, do generate carbon dioxide and water, but not nearly to the extent that natural gas, oil, and especially coal generates carbon dioxide and water. As you can see from this figure, when it comes to solar energy, not all places are created equal. The desert Southwest and the southern states are much better suited for solar energy than the northern states are. However, you do find solar power up in places like Vermont and Maine. Their production, however, is limited compared to those in, say, Florida, Arizona, Nevada, and California. Politics has played a large part in suppressing the development of solar energy, especially from representatives, congressmen, and presidents from southern states where oil is produced and other states where coal is produced. However, as you can see from this graph, as prices have gone down and government intervention has gone up, the production of solar power is increasing. Wind power is also increasing. It's a fairly simple process. The wind turns the rotor blades, and in turn the axle on the rotor blade turns a gearbox and a generator. The generator then supplies electricity to the local utility as an alternative to fossil fuels. Just like with solar power, when it comes to wind power, not all places are created equal. Very good places for wind turbines are the coasts and the central part of the United States. Even though renewable energy would seem to be a favorable way to go, there are still people who do not want it in their backyard, the NIMBYs as they are known. They find excuses like aesthetic reasons, noise, the threat to birds and bats as a reason not to have wind turbines near their particular areas. Geothermal is another renewable energy source. Much like the energy from the sun, the Earth's core has radioactive elements, and as they decay, they give off energy. This leads to certain hot spots around the world. Unfortunately, with the United States, the biggest hot spots turn out to be in national park reserves. So the use of geothermal energy in the United States is quite limited. To conclude this presentation, here is a figure of a geothermal power plant. It relies on hot or warmed groundwater for its energy. Even though the Earth uses decayed radioactive particles to generate the heat, this is not a radioactive or nuclear process. It's a process that strictly deals with warm water. The best locations of these plants, however, in the United States would be in national parks.